Yeah, and then let's recapitulate about what we have been covering. Remember the consonants, consonantal sounds. Oh, before the consonantal sounds, we need to understand the vocal tract. We need to understand the mouth inside and the different organs and how they are articulated to produce such and such a sound. That's very important. You need to know that for the 45 sounds of the English language. It's not a lot, but you will have to be able to describe phonetically speaking, the 45 sounds of the English language, the 25 consonants and the 12 diphthongs. No, the 12 vowels and the 8 diphthongs. That makes 45, right? All right. Did we talk about manner of articulation? Did we talk about voicing first? Voicing. Do you understand them? Did we talk about the difference? Let's recapitulate a little bit. That these are your vocal cords, right? Yeah, and then this drawing represents the vocal cords when they are closed, and this other one represents the vocal cords when they are open. Yeah, normally when your vocal cords are closed, the air passing through the membranes here produces that vibration that we know as the human voice. But now do this. The vocal cords are open and the air flows with no problem, producing just a right? So the point is that the vocal cords vibrate for some consonants and the vocal cords don't vibrate for some other consonants. So now you need to know which consonant is voiced and which consonant is voiceless. Voiced, voiceless. And we simply go like this. For example, I usually recommend that you use your mouth to remember the sounds, the consonantal sounds, and start by the bilabial ones. Yeah, b. Sorry, first say p, b, m, v. Yeah, we have like 5 now. Notice that some of them come in pairs, and one is voiced and the other one is voiceless. Yeah, for example, p, b, p, b. And now say, yeah, the vocal cords vibrate for some of them, and the vocal cords don't vibrate. Let's continue. We were in the p, b, m, f, v, and then we have v, another pair, the interdental ones, v, right? One is voiceless, and the other like thank you, thick, thin, thought, and the other one is voiced, they, they, them. Yeah, thus, the. Yeah, in that case, the vocal cords vibrate, but for the vocal cords don't vibrate. Okay, that's a crazy thing. Then you have the we have the p, b, m, f, f, no, p, b, m, f, v, v, and now we have 7-1 that are alveolar. So the tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge, these protuberance here. And then to say t, d, s, z, n, r. Yeah, which ones are voiced? Which ones are voiceless? Voiceless, no voice. Voiceless. voiced. Okay. Yeah. Let's start again. That's voiceless.
It's voiceless.
Yeah. The
That's with voice because
voice.
of the
The. Yeah. Then we have s, s.
voiceless.
Exactly, voiceless. But we also have in English z, 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 z.
It's
Easy.
also voiceless.
No, voiced. Because
Oh.
la abejita que vibra. Z, z, the bee that z, 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 zombie, 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 zombie. Hey, 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 ooh, zombie. No es zombie, es zombie. Miren, zero, zero, easy, zoo, zoo, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom like a zoom. Yeah, ooh, z, 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 z. Yeah, so that's s and z. Then we have uh, mm, uh.
Voiceless.
No,
Voiceless. No?
voiced. It says touch your mm, mm, mm. And then you have uh, uh, uh. Voice too. And
The
finally,
difference
voiced.
the difference finally it's if you use the card, it's with voice, and if it's voiceless, it's more like cuando uno sopla. It's with
Yeah,
the
exactly. I mean, the air passes. The vocal cords are in constant movement, like an engine, right? In constant movement, and they move very fast. And they are always in the position of being closed or open, unless we are in silence for hours in our home, looking at the ceiling. But we normally speak, whether we speak on the phone or we speak personally. But now my vocal cords are working, are getting very quickly in both positions, open and closed, open and closed. Why? Because there are open and closed, voiced and voiceless consonants. And that's how we distinguish them. I'm going to give you an example in Spanish. Listen, in Spanish, par, bar. Oh, the microphone is here. Par, bar. Is it the same word?
no, it
No,
is
no, it isn't. Un par de amigos fueron al bar. Yeah, bar, par. Okay, yeah, okay. How do we make the distinction? We make the distinction because when we say par, we start with the vocal cords closed. But when we say bar, we start with the vocal cords. No, the other way. When we say un par de personas, we start saying the word with the vocal closed, with the vocal cords open. And we close it when the a appears. But that happens in milliseconds. That's the problem, in milliseconds. It's not perceptible. It's difficult to perceive. It takes place in milliseconds. So you have to be very imaginative to imagine how the process is in slow motion, in very slow motion, right? It's crazy. It's crazy, but we need to study this to be able to make the perfect sound. Yeah. So that's it. Linguists and phoneticians say that when you say the difference between bar and par in Spanish is that 30 milliseconds. When you say par, the vocal cord starts vibrating when the A appears. Pa, par. But we say it very quickly. Par. Yeah. But if we put it in units, pa, a, r. Par. Yeah. Now let's do it with b. B, a, r. So the voicing starts with the b. Bar, 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 bar. And that's why we can make up the difference between one and the other. So this is the wonder of our human hearing capacity. Yeah, they say that other animals have better ears, but we distinguish, very very minimal sounds. Yeah, we distinguish a word when we say fill my glass, different from feel my glass. So the difference between e and e, but we perceive it. Yeah, and we need to learn how to do it, to perceive it and do it correctly. Perceive it correctly and do it correctly. Yeah, and then we said that this is voicing. Yeah, voicing. Yeah, some. Then we have yeah, we have the postal velar. We have 5. Sh, j, ch, j, and Yeah. Which of them are voiceless? Which of them are voiced? First, sh.
Voiceless.
Voiceless. Sh. The other one is j. 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 J, like genre.
Yeah, that's with voice.
Usually. It's a French sound. Je m'appelle Louis. Je suis professeur. Just like, okay, je, yeah. So in English we have sh and je. Yeah. Sh is voiceless and je is voiced. But we also have the affricates, the ch and the j. Ch, j. For example, church, j, judge,
Is it
judge.
voiceless or is voice?
Which one is voiced? Which one is voiceless?
The church.
But say it.
Voiceless.
Say it without making your voice. No. Without making your voice. Say simply ch. No. Pero no hagas vibrar las cuerdas vocales, sino que di ch. Tú tienes que controlar las cuerdas vocales, mira. Ch. Mira, cuando uno no le gusta algo, dice, oye, ¿trajiste algo para la 11? Ese sonido. Es un chasquido nomás, no tiene la vibración. ¿Ya? Entonces, los que tienen las cuerdas, son claros, los que tienen la vibración, suena así, mira. Yo. Por eso te James, y tú puedes decir James. Choke, joke. Choke, joke. Choke, joke, esta, joke es broma, y choke, sofocar, ¿cómo se llama?
Ahogarse.
No, claro, choke, suffocate or something like that. Yeah, you understand the difference? So we have sh, j, ch, j. And what happens with Give me 1 second, please, because I need to. Aló, hola, Catherine. Bien, pues estoy en clase. Salgo a las 5:20. Ya, oye, ¿recibiste la carta? Sí, mándalo. Mándalo nomás entonces. Ya. Ya está con la carta hecha. Listo. Gracias a ti. Si tienes alguna cosa que quieres que yo la mande, me lo dices nomás. Ya, ya. Pero está bien, ¿no? Sí, perfecto. Excelente. Ya, no te preocupes que te vaya súper bien. Bye. Oh, sorry, but it was important. A student needs to turn in her thesis final project, right? And I was responsible for that.
It's
I
okay.
was
Don't worry.
the guide teacher. Yeah. Then we were talking about voicing. Yeah, voicing. So this is crazy because if we pick up all the sounds, yeah, all of them are voiced or voiceless, but I think that most of them are voiced. There are more voiced than voiceless ones. Yeah, but then we have v. No, we have but v, v, s, z, t, d, y de ahí r. Después sh, j, ch, j, k, 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 g, and n. Yeah, k, g, and n. And finally, we have the yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you understand now the difference between place of articulation and manner of articulation? What is manner of articulation? Yeah. Let's revise that because place of articulation is where the sound is made and what organs are involved. But manner of articulation is how the sound is made. Yeah, you first you call them obstructions. One organ touches another organ, and you call that an obstruction. But the air goes out that organ through different ways, and they are mainly in two different ways. Yeah, stops and fricatives. Stops is like an explosion, and fricative is like friction. Do you? I don't remember if I did this example with you, but here I have, this red balloon. Yeah. What's there in the balloon?
Air.
Air. Excellent. Air. But the air is imprisoned there. The air is caught there because I am doing it with my fingers. But now I'll give it a little bit of freedom and then it will produce a sound. Uh-huh. Yeah, imagine that the vocal cords are vibrating. Yeah, but now if I give it more space, yeah, the air goes out and produces a kind of friction that is a sound that we recognize. In that way, we make the following sounds, the fricatives. Yeah, like that, we make v, v, s, z, sh, zh, and h. And we call these sounds fricatives. Friction, because of the friction that is produced, like the balloon, right? Now let's do them again. Yeah. And then notice that there's a friction, a continuous friction. You say f, f, v, v, s, z, sh, zh, ha. Yeah, friction. These other ones are called stops or plosives because somehow the air is kept behind the obstruction and released like in an explosion. B, t, d. Okay, pay attention to this now. Look at the screen. Yeah. Then yeah. This is the fricative. Aha. And what is the stop of the plosive? This is the stop of the plosive. Are you ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. The air is going to be out very quickly. That is the stop. Yeah. Because the air is stopped in the let me show you something. Oh no, it's not. Oh no. But how is it possible? Here. Share. No. Tool. Share screen. This one. Share. These are the obstructions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 obstructions. 2 organs together. Yeah, but for milliseconds. Yeah. So the two big groups are stops and fricatives. Yeah. Let's revise them now. We already revised the fricatives that were the no. Let's start again. Yeah. V, v, s, z, sh, j, and h. 9. Yeah. Now let's revise the stops or plosives. Yeah. The one with the explosion. Stops or plosive. Yeah. They are, for example, p, b, t, d, k, and g. Yeah. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 oral stops. Because there are other stops that are called nasal stops or nasal plosives. Why are they called nasals? It's because imagine that you cover your mouth and you can still make them. Why? Because the air goes back and goes out through the nose. Then you say, no, no, yeah, no. And they are the nasal stops or nasal plosives. So we have a total of 9 stops or plosives. Oral plosives. P, b, t, d, k, g. Nasal stops or nasal plosives. And m. Yeah, that's the classification of the sound in terms of manner of articulation. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay. And do you remember the other classification? The other classification was affricate. But there were only 2 sounds called affricate. Let me admit someone else. Yeah. And those affricates were t and j. These ones. They are called affricates. Yeah. What is an affricate? What is the definition of an affricate? It's something very funny, but you won't believe it. Very funny. It's simply the combination of a stop or plosive and a fricative. It's like combining the other 2 ones, fricative and a stop and a fricative, right? In 10 minutes, but then I'll send you the invitation again. Yeah, okay. In English, we have only this crazy thing. We have the sound t, but we combine it with the sound sh. And we have, as a result, ch, ch. And here, we combine the sound de with the sound je, and the result is j, 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 ch, j. These are affricates. I explain again. They are two sounds. It's a combination of a stop and a fricative. A stop and a fricative. In Italian, there is another one, t and s, and that gives origin to t, t. When you say pizza, it's this one. Pizza. Canazzo, larazzo, ragazza, una ragazza, bellissima la ragazza. You say the double Z, for example, stands for that ragazza. It's a t and s together. T, ragazza, yeah, palazzo. And in English, this one we have it only in the word pizza, right? Because everybody says pizza. Even in Spanish, we say vaya a comer pizza or pizza. Well, what do you say, pizza or pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza. I say pizza. I don't
Pizza.
know.
Pizza.
Pizza, una pizzita. Ponte una pizzita, hacete una pizzita, una pizza. I have the tendency to say pizza. In the United States, they say pizza, but the only word that has it. But in Italian, there are more words, in German and in other languages, right? But in English, fortunately, we have only two affricates, ch and j, like church and George. Of when we say, for example, um, uh, James, Jean, my jeans, yeah, juke, and this is choke, check, revisar, check, and no more words come to my mind, okay? But do you understand? This is the affricate. Then we have three other sounds, because if we pick up the fricatives and the stops, they are 18. We have 9 fricatives and 9 stops. So that makes 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We still have 5 ones. Oh, 3 ones, 2 ones are affricates, yeah, ch and j. What about the other 3 ones? The other 3 ones are called liquids, yeah. Linguists put crazy sounds, liquids. It's like you were speaking in water, right? Liquids. And in English, you have 3. Remember that the is very crazy in English, right? That you call it retroflex liquid, because you put your tongue like this. Yeah, you roll your tongue back, and the air, like here, going out, produces that crazy The world, yeah, work, serve, fur, first, yeah, a girl, a curly girl, yeah, the retroflex. Then the in English is lateral. That's very crazy. It's not the same as in Spanish. In Spanish, I say lily, la lily. In English, is lily. You have to extend your tongue. You have to spread your tongue right to the sides. Lily, right? It's not, for example, killing. Yeah. The killer. The killer awoke before dawn. Like the Jim Morrison song, It's killer. Let's say another word. Wailing. Yeah? You have lateral liquid. And finally, this r. We have it in Spanish. Yeah, we have it in words like pero, caro, amaro, Tarrero, pero tarré, no, pues, tarrero, toro, toro, en toro, toro, toro para, toro para la torería, torería, toro para la torería, ya, eso mismo, los gringos, ¿cuándo lo hacen? Lo hacen cuando dicen better, later, matter, get it on, yeah. No, no, ellos no dicen get it on, dicen get it on. Ya, for example, miren, todos los it, más una vocal, por ejemplo, it is. O por ejemplo, put it on. Put it on is simply put it on. Put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. Put it on, bang a gong. Put, something like that. Yeah? Yeah, that is the r. And that is called an approximant liquid. Why is it called approximant? Because it's very quickly done. It's a quick sound. Yeah, so it approximates, it approaches the organ. Practice it in words like letter, better, later, matter. Why? What's the matter? Get it. I got it. Got it. I have got it. You don't say that. I have got it. You say I got it. You skip some sounds too, but that's later on. Yeah. All right. Do you understand? Yeah. So these are the liquids. Yeah. And the two final ones are the famous glides. Do you remember what the glides are? Yeah, the glides are the yacht and the vow because they have a name. The yacht and the vow, yeah. Yeah. The vow, this has a name. Linguists give it a name. This symbol has a name. They call it the vow. It has a name because they took it from German. In German, you say vow, vow. A fe, vow. A fe, vow es un Volkswagen, un auto en alemán. A fe, vow. Ich habe eine, fe, vow. Fe, vow. ¿Ya? La F es fe y este es vau, se llama. Entonces le pusieron vau a esta en lingüística, en fonética, ¿ya? Vau. Y a esta otra le pusieron la yot. 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 They are very weak sounds, ¿ya? Uno es like i, pero nunca va solo. Siempre está combinado con una vocal. Está combinado con algo. Y esta otra es el sonido we. Ese sonido lo tenemos en Mapudumu, nosotros, aquí en Chile. Y nosotros lo usamos en nuestro español diario, hueo, perdón que diga esto, hueón, aguaita, guatón. No decimos guatón, decimos guatón.
La guagua.
La guagua. Ese es un buen ejemplo, ¿ya? Pero ahora digan el O-U-L-D. ¿Cómo se pronuncia? A ver si lo puedo. Wood. Ahí está. Wood. Claro, wood. Ahí está ese sonido, en wood. Miren, el sonido wa va a estar siempre en palabras como when, where, fíjese, when. No es when. Y. Which. Entonces tenemos while con diptongo, with a diphthong. While. While. ¿Ya? Después tenemos whip. Dun, 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 dun. Pew, pew. Grab that whip. Dun, 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 dun. Pew, pew. Whip, azotar. Pero es whip. All of this. You got when, where, what, which, while, whip. And a diphthong, whale, which is a big animal that is in the sea, especially here in the southern part. There are whales. We can see whales here in Chile, in the south.
Cachalote.
Cachalote, it's ballena. Yeah, read, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. That's a wonderful book about a whale. Yeah, whale. Yeah, wa. Practice it. Wa. And then say when, where, what, which, while, whip, whale. But be careful with these crazy things because these are pronounced differently, even though they are written with a W, right? But for example, how do you pronounce the first one? Actually, the pronunciation starts with this sound. What sound is this?
Whole.
Whole. Exactly. Whole. The whole world. All right. Yeah. In the whole world. You'll find it in the whole world. Whole. Another example with whole. The whole country was occupied by the Nazis. The whole country was, the whole city was occupied by those hippies. Yes.
Dice una compañera que el link de la clase no le sirve.
Oh, ¿por qué?
No sabemos, no está respondiendo.
A ver, voy a ponerlo en el. ¿Cuáles somos nosotros? Déjenme. Espérense un poquitito. Déjenme.
Ese es el problema de su dispositivo.
Ya, aquí está.
Sí, debería ser porque interés sin ningún problema. Nosotros
Ya,
todos
lo
los
copio y lo voy a colocar ahora. ¿Cuáles somos nosotros en el WhatsApp? ¿Cómo nos llamamos?
Lo más lindo, no, somos de la O a la Z.
Ah, la OZ. Ya.
Los
Ahí lo voy a
famosos.
colocar. Paste. Ahí lo coloqué en el. Ahí está. Ya. Ahí entras así por el teléfono. Po. Ahí está, po. Constanza Ustubia, ¿no? Admit. Ahí sí. Ya. Y ¿quién estaba grabando?
El Ignacio.
Ignacio Pessoa.
Ignacio Pessoa. Allowed to record. And someone else, I think.
Es que igual el Ignacio lo sube como al correo del curso, entonces todo.
Ya.
Como acceso a las grabaciones, para que no se preocupe.
Excellent. There's another guy from San Felipe, I think. No, I don't know of the other course who streams the class via YouTube. I don't know how he does it.
También lo hacen, acá también lo hacen.
Sí. No, you have to.
Es el YouTube del curso, del correo del curso.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to learn about that. So I have sent you some capsules, explanatory crazy videos and things to your emails, right? But the most important for the next week is the three tests, right? Because I sent you 3 tests too. I think that Constanza was talking about that at the beginning of the class, that you were doing one and that was difficult. Now, do you understand, Constanza, more than before? Yeah, probably now, if you read the manual, you're going to understand more. And then when you do the test, you will, all the information is there. But I had to clarify some points. Like, for example, the glides, yeah, manner of articulation for those, they don't have a place of articulation. No, glides don't have a place of articulation because they depend on the sound they go with. They depend on the sound they accompany. Yeah, so that's why if you say, imagine these words. Yeah, for example, where, when, and when you say while, you open your mouth. While, it depends on the I. While, when you say whale, yeah, different when you say which, or when you say rather wheel. Wheel, different from will. Will, wheel. Yeah, wheel. Yeah. Now the other glide is the famous yacht. Yacht. And all this is the symbol like a J, but it's not a J. This is a phonetic symbol that stands for E. E. As this is a phonetic symbol that stands for wa. Wa. Yeah? Phonetic symbol, significance, wa. Wa. And then phonetic symbol, significance, E. E. Yeah? But the problem is that you always put it with another sound, like you. No, nada de you, shoe. No, it's EU. Yeah, you. Your. No, sorry. Ear. That one is difficult. Ear. Ear. Yes. Yes. Yellow. Yellow. Yet. Yet. You know that expression? You're not ready yet. Oh my God. You're not ready yet. Okay. Then you have your. E-O. Yeah. Your. Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday. Then we have EA again. Yell. Yell. And then we have yep. Yeah. Again. Yep. Yep. The informal way to say yes. It's a synonym for yes. Yep. And finally, we have New York in between. New York. Never say New York. Estuve en Nueva York. No, I was in New York. New York.
Los New York.
Los Nueva York. In New York. No, I was not. I lived in the United States for 3 years, but I was not in New York. No, I was in California, in Arizona, mainly Arizona. I lived in Tempe, Arizona. That is in Phoenix, in the desert. Yeah, I studied there, and then that was the university that accepted me, and then I spent some years there. But then I traveled to Colorado, New Mexico. What else? Texas. Texas. I was in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And Nevada. That was another state I also visited, Nevada. And that was all. And Denver, because I was there on a meeting, university meeting. Yeah. For a week, and that was all. But I didn't go to New York. But I was in Los Angeles. Wow, right? That's fantastic. Pasadena, California, and crazy places. I went to a concert to Pasadena in California. We traveled with a friend from Phoenix, Arizona, to Pasadena, California, to attend the concert, the Depeche Mode concert. I don't know if you know. Do you know that group, Depeche Mode?
Yes, it came to Chile a few years ago.
They were here, yes. Everybody has been here. Reach out, touch face, dum, 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 dum. Your own, personal, Jesus. Ahí está la J. Yeah. Okay, but we are now with the yo. Yeah, again the yo, yo. Always with, again, you can repeat if you want in your intimacy. You, your, ear, yes, yellow, yet. your, yesterday, yell, yep, New York. And also, let's add some other examples in words like yummy. Oh, that means delicious, yummy. Yeah, yummy, yummy. And in words, inside words like cute, because you have you here. Cute, cute. You have also mute, 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 muting. When you say muting, mute the TV. Yeah, mute. The rock group Muse. You pronounce Muse. Yeah, z at the end. Muse, you. Then you have few, few. Luke, like Luke Perry. Yeah, that act. Use, eu, use. Union. You have no union. It's union. Universe. Across the universe. Then fumes, fumarolas, right? Fumes. And this one is dunes. Like in Concon, between Reñaga and Concon, there are the dunes, the few dunes that it's mostly, tall buildings and stuff. Dunes. And finally, human. You. New, when you say new. Some people say the new. Good English is the news. I read the news today. Oh boy. But Americans say the news. The news. Did you watch the news? No. What happened? They attacked the Empire State Building. Well, which one was the one that was attacked? The Empire State, the two towers. Well, I don't remember, and I don't care either. Yeah, but anyways, do you understand this explanation about the glides? Yeah, the glides. Now you are in better condition to understand what is stated in the manual. Yeah, in the manual like this, for example. And wait a minute. The manual. Where is the manual? Here. Now. And here. No, here. Share screen. But where is the goddamn manual? No. He's a little bit. Maybe I have to. Manual. Yeah, manual. English manual. Yeah, right there. Yeah, you should be able to see what I'm going to show you now. Okay. Share. Yeah, now you can see the manual, right? Okay. Now you will understand these explanations, right? Because they are too technical. Yeah, this first one talks about the organs of speech. And remember that it's very, very essential for you to learn and to memorize forever, for the rest of your life, all the names of the organs involved in making the sounds of the English language, right? So you should start by practicing nasal cavity, oral cavity, right? And then upper teeth, lower lip, upper lip, alveolar ridge, post-alveolar area, velum, the tongue, back of the tongue, tip of the tongue, blade of the tongue, sides of the tongue, the jaw, and the vocal cords. And the glottis too, because you can call it the glottis. The open space is called the glottis, remember. Yeah, and this is the secret to speak good English, right? And then at the same time, the vocal cords are being opened and closed very quickly, very fast. And you are moving all these organs, touching and making vowels and consonants at the same time, because you cannot speak by using only consonants. You have to speak by using the combination of consonants and vowels to produce real words, right? Okay. Then we have articulators and resonators. And remember that articulators are the organs that move, and the resonators are the organs that don't move, right? Remember that, don't move. The articulators like the lower lip, the jaw, the tip of the tongue, the sides of the tongue, the blade of the tongue, all the tongue, right? And the resonators like the upper teeth, the lower teeth, the alveolar ridge, post-alveolar area, velum. The teeth, because the teeth don't move. What you move here is the jaw. The alveolar ridge is, you can move it, right? Yeah, and then, for example, when two organs are together, that is called an obstruction. In this example, the lower lip is touching the upper teeth, so the obstruction is labiodental. Yeah, that's the name of the obstruction, labiodental, and the name of the place of articulation, labiodental. Yeah. Then we have consonants. Yeah. Here there is an example. The air is going out through the pharynx, right? Out, going out. And here, for example, in this case, what sound is going to make? What sounds are possible to be made in that drawing? What consonant?
Can you repeat the question?
What consonant is possible to be made in this position?
K, G, and
Remember that
G, and
excellent. Very good, very good. For example, the consonant k is articulated using the back of the tongue and the velum. The back part of the tongue touches the velum. So the place of articulation for this sound is velar from velum. Do you understand? Its manner of articulation dictates that the air coming out from the lungs is somehow kept behind the obstruction caused by the back of the tongue touching the velum and then abruptly released. This, of course, takes place in milliseconds. This manner of articulation is called an oral stop or an oral plosive. Another important aspect is whether the SSC, if the vocal cords vibrate or not. In the case of k, the vocal cords don't vibrate like this one, okay? In this way, consonants can be described using three characteristics: voicing, whether the vocal cords vibrate or not, place of articulation, where, and manner of articulation, how. So this is the way we are going to describe a sound. For example, the sound k is a voiceless, velar, oral stop. Yeah, it's a voiceless, velar, oral stop in English syntax. Es un plosivo, oral, velare, sordo, ¿no? En Spanish. Es una plosiva, es un sonido plosivo, oral, velar, sordo. Yeah? In English, k is a voiceless, velar, oral stop. Or plosive, yeah? There is a total of 23 regular consonants classified into place and manner. Yeah, place, we classify bilabial, labiodental, interdental, alveolar, postalveolar, velar, and glottal. And then you have to identify this with the sounds, right? With the consonants. And manner, there is oral plosive, remember? Nasal plosive or stop, fricatives, affricates, liquids, and glides. Place and manner. Within the list of consonants, we have to include two weird sounds, the glides, yod and vowel, also called semivowels. They are very weak sounds that depend on the sound they go with. In relation to consonants, we can conclude that to understand consonants and the way they are articulated, we need to study the mouth cavity inside, including all its parts, the tongue, teeth, lips, hard and soft palate, etc. Did you get it? And then you have places of articulation. Yeah. This is, you understand that, yeah? Upper lip, lower lip, the most important parts are in black.
Yeah.
Here there is an exercise. These parts of the tongue can reach the teeth. Yeah. All the described organs can be classified into resonators and articulators. An articulator is a moving organ which moves to and usually touches a static organ. A resonator is a static organ which gets the contact of the moving organ. For example, in the sound f, the tip of the tongue f, is the articulator and the teeth are the resonators. This is very much like a musical instrument, like musical instruments. For example, the violin has the strings tum, 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 and its body, the resonators, and the articulator. Right? That's why you finally hear that wonderful sound. Yeah. Let's classify the organs into. Yeah. We have all the organs here, but you need to think about what organs move and what organs receive the motion of the other organ. Yeah. The organs are upper lip, upper teeth, lower teeth, alveolar ridge, postalveolar area, velum, glottis, tip of the tongue, blade of the tongue, sides of the tongue,
¿Qué hueá? ¿Quién se la echó? ¿Qué
and
pasó ahí?
back
No
of the
entendí,
tongue.
man.
Where would you put upper lip? Articulator or resonator?
An articulator.
Exactly, because you move your lips. The two lips are articulators, exactly, because you can move them. But can you move your teeth?
No.
No. So your teeth are going to be
Resonators.
resonators. Very good, resonators. Okay, you do this exercise during the next week, right? Because it was done, yeah. There are 7 places of articulation for consonants. They are called bilabial, labiodental, interdental, alveolar, palatal, or postalveolar, velar, and glottal, right? Remember that, or postalveolar, because in some publications you have that name, in other publications you have another name. Here you have them, yeah? The obstructions, right? And then you have the description of each of them, right? More or less how the sound is made, examples, etc. We already went through this, right? But here comes another part that says manner of articulation. And then we have to, now you will understand it better than before. Think about how the air goes out through these obstructions. Through, that through is in bad English, right? In American English, through, a través de. Think about how the air goes out through these obstructions. Yeah, okay. Let's see the first example, this one. It says, the air coming out from the lungs finds the upper lip and the lower lip touching each other. The air is kept behind the obstruction for milliseconds and suddenly released out. Like the explosion of the balloon, remember? Did we do that or not? Oh no. The difference between a fricative and a stop? ¿Reventé un globo aquí o no?
Yes.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did it. You understand that it's like, that's a plosive or a stop. Yeah. Here you have this represents the air coming out from the lungs, and suddenly, you release the b or yeah. Here, another example. It says the air coming out from the lungs passes. What's the meaning of lungs? The lungs. What is the lungs? The lungs.
Los pulmones.
Los pulmones. Very good. Oxygen. Get the oxygen you inhale. Yeah. Coming out from the lungs, passes through the very narrowed obstruction caused by the tip of the tongue touching both the upper teeth and the lower teeth, causing the hissing sounds and the. The point is that we breathe. We breathe to live. But when we breathe out, when we exhale air, we take advantage of that situation to produce language. We're intelligent. We are intelligent ETs living in this planet, right? Living in this world. Yeah. So that's, look at the position of the tip of the tongue in between the teeth and the air passing through. Yeah. Other two examples. For example, look at the last one. The air coming out from the lungs passes through the very narrowed obstruction caused by the lower lip touching the upper teeth, causing the hissing sounds and v. Yeah. And then the air coming out from the lungs passes through the obstruction caused by the tip of the tongue touching the alveolar ridge. The air is somehow kept behind the obstruction and suddenly released out for t, d. Also fricative for s, z, r, right? But all of them happen in the same place. Manner of articulation. Manner of articulation is the way in which the airstream is affected when it flows through the mouth and nasal cavities. The airstream passes through two organs that are in contact, causing a type of sound called a phoneme. Again, a phoneme. That is a phoneme. In English, there are 6 different ways in which the airstream passes through two organs. These are called manners of articulation, and they are stops, oral stops, and nasal stops. Remember, plosives too. Fricatives, affricates, liquids, and glides. Again, stops or plosives, fricatives, affricates, liquids, and glides. And we have to also remember that stops are oral stops and nasal stops, remember? Yeah, you need to classify them. Yeah, let's start by stops. Let's start by explaining what a stop or plosive is. A stop is produced by completely stopping the airflow in the obstruction. An articulator completely closes the airstream against a resonator. For example, the tip of the tongue moves to the alveolar ridge and closes the airflow for articulating t. The same happens when we move our lower lip towards the upper lip to articulate p or b. 10 minutes. Imagine this happening at a very slow motion. A stop has 3 stages: a closing stage, a closure stage, and a release stage. In Spanish, the closing stage, la etapa de cerramiento, que se cierra. A closure stage, la etapa en que está cerrado, and a release stage, la etapa de liberación. Yeah, a release stage. Let's clarify this. The closing stage is when the process begins. The closure stage is when the two organs are closed and stopped. And the release stage is when the two organs open and release the air. Here you have. In other words, closing stage, closure stage, and release stage. Yeah, the closing, you have to imagine this in very, very slow motion, at a very slow motion. Closing stage, an articulator moves towards a resonator. For example, the tip of my tongue approaches the alveolar ridge, moves towards a resonator, and then the two organs are in contact with each other for milliseconds. And then the articulator moves away from the resonator, releasing the airflow out of the mouth. That's the summary of the whole process. An articulator moves towards a resonator, The two organs are in contact with each other for milliseconds, and then the articulator moves away from the resonator, releasing the airflow out of the mouth. Crazy, but true. For example, when we make k, the back of the tongue moves towards the velum. The air is kept behind this obstruction and then released. Of course, this happens very fast, in a fraction of a second. The oral stops in English are p, b, t, d, k, and g. In the case of nasal stops, the closure of the two organs makes the air stream go out through the nose. This is the case for alveolar nasal stop, bilabial nasal stop, and velar nasal stop. Fricatives. In the case of fricatives, the airflow is not fully blocked by an articulator and a resonator. There is a gap enough for the air to go out, causing an audible friction or hissing sound. This is the case for v, v, s, z, sh, zh, and h. Again, v, v, s, z, sh, zh, and h. Do you understand? Those are the fricatives, finally. Affricates. An affricate is just the combination of a stop and a fricative. In other words, an affricate begins by fully stopping the air from being released and then releasing it through a constricted opening. The combination of the voiceless stop t and the voiceless fricative sh results in ch, a voiceless affricate, and the combination of the voice stop d with the voiced fricative j becomes the voiced affricate j. This is the case for only two sounds in English, ch and j. Liquids. A liquid is a consonant produced when an articulator, in this case the tongue, approaches a resonator in the mouth but does not come close enough to obstruct or constrict the airflow, so to create some kind of turbulence, as with fricatives. Unlike nasals, unlike means a diferencia de, unlike nasals, the airstream is not redirected into the nasal cavity. Instead, with liquids, the air is still allowed to go out through the mouth, but its direction of flow is altered by the tongue sending it in different directions within the mouth before leaving the lips. What an explanation, but do you understand it? Liquids in English are lateral liquid. The tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge and make the airflow escape through the sides of the tongue. Yeah. Retroflex liquid. The tip of the tongue is rolled back and it approaches the post-alveolar area, but it doesn't really touch it. So the air passes through this tongue rolling space, giving it its characteristic sound. And the last one is the the approximant liquid. This sound is made by very rapidly touching the alveolar ridge with the tip of the tongue. That is the explanation. Okay, lateral liquid, retroflex liquid, and approximant liquid, You got it now? And finally, you have the glides. Finally, a glide, also called a semivowel, is a sound that is phonetically similar to a vocalic sound. It's a sound that is phonetically similar to a vocalic sound. That's why E and W. Yeah. In English, to glide means to move smoothly and continuously along as if without effort or resistance, como los gliders, los planeadores. Yeah. Yeah. Así como volar, flotar en el aire. The two glides in English are E and W, also called the yod and the vowel. They don't have a steady place of articulation because they depend on the sound they go with. Yes, your, you, what, when, warm, etc. are example words that have these sounds in word initial position. Voicing, place, and manner. After reviewing the concepts of voicing, place, and manner of articulation, we can characterize all consonants by stating their voicing, place, and manner of articulation in a sentence like this. Look at this. We have the example k, yeah, k, which is a voiceless velar oral stop. We say, yeah, voicing, place, and manner. Yeah, so we have voicing is voiceless, place, velar, and manner oral stop, and then the result is a voiceless velar oral stop. Okay. Another example is r, r. Yeah, that is a voicing, place, and manner. Voicing is voiced, r. Place is alveolar, and manner is approximant liquid. So the result is that you have a voiced, alveolar, approximant liquid. Tan tan. And then you have some examples here. Yeah. Yeah. For example, p is a voiceless bilabial oral stop. But what would you say about this? B. B is a
Voiced bilabial oral.
exactly. And that will be the difference between this one and this one. It's a voiced bilabial oral stop. Is a voiced
Bilabial nasal stop.
bilabial nasal stop. Very good. Is a
Fricative.
is a fricative. No, fricative is here. Voiced or voiceless?
I'm sorry. Voiceless.
Voices, labiodental, fricative, and then you have the complete sentence phrase. And finally, v is a voiced.
Fricative.
No.
No. Labiodental fricative.
Labiodental fricative. Very similar to this one. Think about how a phonetics teacher can ask you questions in a written test. Is the an alveolar phoneme? Is it voiced or voiceless? What organs do you move to articulate this sound in English? Do your vocal cords vibrate when you articulate it? How different is sh from ch? Do p and b have the same place of articulation? What's the difference between an articulator and a resonator? Think about that. And excellent, we finished the album. The manual. So I need you to do this is more explanation, but the 3 tests that I send you, try to do them the next week. The next week we don't have classes. Remember, it's a break, right? But it's a time to do the exercises. And imagine that they are tests. But of course, you are going to do them by looking at your notes, yeah? Looking at